anticipation on all your faces. And I promise you, we have an incredible session lined up for you. Today, we are honored to have with us a distinguished speaker in the field of HR.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Ayush Gupta from Jaipur, Rajasthan, a junior student manager specializing in marketing at Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development.
And I, Astha Gupta from Ranchi, Jharkhand, a junior student manager specializing in marketing at BIMHRD, will be the masters of the ceremony for the day. We are happy to welcome our esteemed guests, directors, deputy directors, faculty members, and dear fellow students who have joined us today. Your presence makes this event even more special. We are honored to have Mr. Chinmay Vasavada, Head HR at Packfora LLP, Mumbai region, as our guest speaker today. He will share his valuable insights with us this evening.
Sir, to express our appreciation on behalf of Shri Balaji University, I would like to invite our junior student manager Dhanashri to present the bouquet as a token of gratitude.
Sir, it is with great pleasure that I take this opportunity to share some remarkable insights about Shri Balaji University, Pune. At SBUP, we not only engage our students with numerous corporate leaders, but also receive training, coaching, and mentorship from top industry professionals. This preparation helps our students manager excel in the corporate world, as reflected in our impressive placement record. SBUP boasts a 97% placements. Our university's success is driven by robust processes that align with the latest industry requirements, regularly updated syllabi, cutting-edge IT infrastructure, and comprehensive training and placement programs. All these incredible achievements have contributed to our outstanding performance.
Sir, we are delighted to inform you that Shri Balaji University, Pune, SBUP, has received a commendable rating in the esteemed Times B School Survey 2024. This recognition reflects our dedication to supporting the career aspirations of our student managers. I would also like to share that SBUP stands at the first position among private universities in Maharashtra and Western India. Our university holds a prestigious position of being the 4th ranked private university in India. We have secured the 9th rank among top 100 B schools in India, excluding government B schools, and 12th position overall. In terms of placements, SBUP has excelled, attaining the rank of top 13 B schools for placements, including government institutions, an impressive 7th position among private B schools in all over India. Sir, I am delighted to inform you, SBUP has introduced new courses such as BA Liberal Arts, BSc in Actuarial Science, and Law. Students are encouraged to expand their horizons and hone their creativity at the university.
Ayush, I think all the student managers would be eagerly waiting to hear from the guest speaker now.
Yes, Asta, fair enough. But before that, I will request Junior Student Manager Mohita to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Chinmay Vasavada, sir.
Thank you, Ayush. Good evening, respected sir, and everyone present over here. I'm Mohita from Agra, Uttar Pradesh, junior student manager specializing in marketing at BIMHRD. Would like to extend my warm welcome to Mr. Chinmay Vasavada, sir, the esteemed head of Human Resource and Packfora People Champion based in Mumbai. With an impressive career spanning over 17 plus years, Sir has garnered extensive experience in FMCG and chemical industry spanning different roles as integration and change management, sales HR, capability development, and employee relations. Sir brings a wealth of experience and a profound understanding of human resource and organizational development. As the people champion at Packfora LLP, he has been instrumental in driving initiatives that not only enhance employee engagement but also foster a culture of growth and innovation within the organization. Chinmay sir has an impressive academic background with a bachelor's degree in science, specialized in industry from N.V. Patel College of Pure and Applied Science at Vallabh Vidyanagar, a master's degree in science, specialized with paints and varnishes from Institute of Science and Technology from Advanced Studies and Research. He holds an MBA degree in Human Resource from Department of Business Administration, Bhavnagar University, Gujarat. Beyond his professional achievements, Sir is known for his active involvement in various community and industry forums. He is a sought-after speaker and thought leader, regularly sharing his insights on HR best practices and the future of work. Today, we have the unique opportunity to hear from Mr. Chinmay Vasavada himself. His wealth of knowledge and experience promises to provide us with valuable insight and inspires us to strive for excellence in our own professional journeys. Please join me extending a warm welcome to Mr. Chinmay Vasavada, sir. I'll now hand over the stage to you.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, just a disclaimer, presenting in front of 600 plus people for the first time ever. Yeah, so would have managed thousands of people as HR, but obviously haven't addressed, especially from an institute perspective, yeah, because obviously in the corporate world it's very different. Addressing fellow students is very different, and fellow professors as well, who are on one side are learned professionals, and on the other side you are like building your career in HR and other specialization, etc. Yeah, so it's a disclaimer. If I sweat in between, please ignore, yeah, because that happens even in the smaller cabin as well, yeah. So don't feel that I am under stress. That used to happen even during my interviews as well, yeah? Whether I am giving interview or I am taking interview. Okay. Yeah, if it can work, because then I can. Cool. So first of all, thank you so much to the Institute for giving me this opportunity to come and share some of the life reflections. What I decided is to obviously take you guys through my personal and professional journey, because it's very important for you when you are just entering the world of education and with certain specialization in MBA. It's very obvious and important for you guys to know what other corporate leaders or fellow experienced people would have gone through a couple of years back, yeah? So that is going to be my theme broadly from a personal as well as professional journey perspective. I'll touch upon some of the things related to my career journey as well. And towards the end, I will share some of the learnings as well as, I have called it out as words of wisdom, which can practically help the students to go into the corporate all prepared, yeah? So without wasting much time, I would like to kind of, jump into more of a life reflection, right? Starting from my personal journey as well as the professional journey, yeah? The idea is to obviously maybe take half an hour or so to take you guys through the content, but then I would like to have an interaction with all of you. and then we can spend as much time as needed for more of a dialogue and a conversation rather than just running through the PPT and the life journey. Yeah. Okay, so more of an introduction. Born and brought up in Junagadh, in Gujarat, the town which is known for sadhus and known for obviously the culture and the lions as well. I'm sure you guys are known to the lions of Gir and Sasan area in Gujarat. I used to kind of stay to near the adjacent city of Junagadh, and born and brought up throughout in Junagadh. Parents used to work, so typically the childhood has gone with the grandparents and the elder brother. Yeah, I will try and kind of connect all the dots of the life journey as we kind of go through various facets of life. Schooling in vernacular medium, I'm sure quite a few of you would have also done the same. Jumped into doing BSc in industrial chemistry, was little clueless what to do, opted for masters in paints and varnishes. Again, a very weird and specialized field. More of a surface coating technology, it's popularly known as. Frankly speaking, was never interested in building my technical career. Worked in R&D and technical services, technical sales services kind of a role for a very brief stint of 7 months, and was always passionate about management per se, but to be very specific within management, HR, because I was always inclined and interested towards the human behavior, and that's why I was more aiming for MBA in HR and marketing. Different cities lived, predominantly being Gujarati, from Gujarat, obviously there's a couple of cities from Gujarat. Came down to Mumbai in 2007 after completing my MBA, and had a brief stint in US during my Unilever days. On a family front, my wife, Ekta, she is a science teacher. Just like me, she was also not interested in building her technical career. Stopped her, post her MSc, stopped her technical career then and there, pursued her Bachelor of Education, and she's been teaching science, maths, and English for now almost close to 21 years. Daughter Vedatri, she's 12-year-old, in 7th standard, in a school which is going to become very famous. The school name is Swami Vivekananda International School in Borivali in Mumbai, where Rohit Sharma has passed out from. Yeah, so a bunch of cricketers who have passed out from SVS, and I'm sure over the period, and as we speak in my daughter's school in class, she has 4 cricketers who have taken admission in this school only for cricket academy. Yeah, so it's obviously the school itself has laureates, and thanks to obviously Rohit Sharma for winning the World Cup as well. Yeah, so that's more on the personal, family, and the schooling and all of that. From a wider passion and interest perspective, and I'm sure you guys will have kind of your eyes wide open, seeing some of the pictures and some of the interesting interest areas I have. Obviously, right from beginning, was absolutely passionate about people, absolutely passionate about talent, and in particularly have a very strong belief that whether it's organization or institution or any setup, we need to have a people first philosophy. And talent scouting is something which I am super passionate about. I'm sure quite a few of you have already reached out to me through LinkedIn, and you will see me buzzing on LinkedIn every now and then. The other interest is I'm fond of music, and in particular singing. And also organizing various events, and I got opportunity to run music clubs in college, and also I got opportunity to run the same in bigger corporates as well. And the third one is a very weird one, right? And I'm sure it's popular, but not many people follow. A die-hard fan of WWE. I've been watching and following WWE for more than 30 years. Now I'm sure you will see a different side of an individual, right? And by the way, just to clarify, in music and in singing, I like ghazals, which is more Shanti Priya, and on the WWE front, it is extreme violence, right? But how do I like and why do I like this is that I see and observe WWE more from a talent management perspective. And luckily, when I was in US, I had an opportunity to even go and visit WWE headquarters, and in particularly their HR department as well. Yeah, so yeah, that's me, a crazy fan of WWE. Moving forward, more on the industry exposure, as it was nicely covered in the introduction as well. Various companies like Ambuja Cement, Ingersoll Rand, Berger Paints, etc., where I did multiple internship during my master's in paints and varnishes, and the Berger Paints was during my MBA days. In a short stint, as I told you, in R&D and technical sales services in a company called Grand Polycoats Private Limited, which was more of a B2B kind of a paint manufacturing company. From there, a real shift came in, which is more on the hardcore corporate and HR career, to be very specific. Yeah, joined a company called Sapat International, a small 100 crore company, predominantly known for Sapat Malam, Sapat Lotion. If you guys are familiar, almost 125 old, I would say more like a pharma company, but their core business was into tea business. And they were regional player in Maharashtra who were expanding their doing the expansion in India. That was my first HR job. And if you see there, it was more of a sales HR and a capability building. I was always worried about how the hell the sales guy work in the market. I am not going to dirty my hands going into the market. That's why I never chose marketing as well, because half of the time you end up doing sales. But this is early stage of the career. I ended up visiting all interior towns of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, which I was referring, MP, Rajasthan, doing 40 calls a day, a retail to retail, shop to shop selling with the sales guy. A complete shift from what you would have assumed and what you would have liked to do, yeah? Did a campus placement, and to be, I'm very proud, and I'm sure you guys also should be proud of, that the first management trainee hire in my personal career and for the Sapat International forever was Balaji Institute, where we hired Nanda, Amarpreet and Pratibha, who were the first interns whom we hired, and they had a kind of a stint with Sapat. It was a 3.5-year-old journey, moved to VVF from a 100 crore company to a 1,000 crore company, more of a contract manufacturing kind of a organization. Did a short stint there, did campus placements, etc., from IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, etc., and also was used to lead the technical capability building. Yeah. The reason I'm specifically referring all of this is to also highlight the point that it was this institute I had visited in 2009. I'm back in this institute after almost 15 years. Similarly, I used to hire people in VVF through IIT Mumbai and IIT Delhi. I ended up working with them in Unilever. I hired few people in Sapat as they were venturing into retail. One of the first guy in Barista was hired by Sapat. He ended up joining Unilever and I used to work with him. So life is a full circle. You never know what relationships and what kind of journey will take you through. Got a good opportunity to move to HUL, always a dream company for any individual. I deliberately and specifically used Unilever and not HUL because we were into global role. Did almost a decade-long inning with Unilever, spanning from regional business partnering to the global HR business partnering role. Had a short stint in US. Towards the fag end of my career with Unilever, was part of project management office in Chief R&D Officer transition. And I'm sure it's a popular FMCG biggest merger of GSK Consumer Healthcare with Hindustan Unilever, where I was part of the due diligence as well as the pre and the post integration journey. Yeah, it was high time, almost a 15-year-old career journey in corporate, a time for me to kind of take a challenge. Ventured into a company called Packfora. Knew about Packfora from very beginning as a seed thought which people had, because the founders and promoters of Packfora used to be my colleagues in Unilever, and they started this packaging consulting organization. So it's been 2.5 years journey. We are expanding as we speak. When I joined, it was a 38, 40 member team. We are now almost 150 member team. In the span of 10 years in Unilever, I had never hired more than 50 to 60 people, but within a span of 2 years in Packfora, we hired more than 100 people. Again, a big shift and a big challenge, right, in itself, and that to a global, where an Indian company expanding into global footprint and global market, they don't even know. What are we talking about EVP and employer brand and all of that? They don't even know what the company is all about, and how do you hire them, right? And as we speak, I head the people. We call it Packfora People Champion. We don't call ourselves HR because in the consulting setup, people are at the heart of it, are the assets, because they don't have any capex in the manufacturing. So we felt that it's better to re-Christian ourselves to have a people-focused approach. Yeah. Quickly onto purpose, which is more of a life purpose. I won't spend much time, but my life purpose is to stand strong and be resourceful. Some of the success stories and crucible stories and from your childhood stories, it shapes you as a person and the kind of principles, values you gain over the period and experiences you gain over the period. Yeah. So some of the career choices, some of the professional choices which you make, which makes you more stronger, and some of the times, difficult times where you stay calm and support as and when needed in the adversity to not only your family but to people around you. That has really shaped me well as an individual, as a person. And interest and hobbies and passion also more slightly towards the HR side, which is I've again used very popular personality as Sherlock Holmes. And that's how I'm known in, at least in my network. Someone who keeps looking at LinkedIn, keeps looking at Insta, keeps looking at Facebook all the time. Yeah, to keep a very close eye on talent, nothing else. Yeah, so I'm not a stalker, of course, but I keep a close eye on who is moving where, who is leading what vertical, which company, etc., so that it really helps in my day-to-day life. And also a bit of gossip, which we call it, right? But in a corporate world, it's more about pulse and insights which you gain by connecting with people and building the network. Yeah. I wanted to also touch upon some of the evolving market trends, and this is again not confined to HR as a profession or HR as a function, but broadly what's happening, and I'm sure you guys must be following, that in the pharma, consumer healthcare, and the FMCG world, there is lots happening where organizations are moving from being bigger to becoming smaller in sizes. That's slightly different, right? And what I mean is that there are organizations who take or own or buy out certain brands or organization, and then over the period after running for certain industries, like say for example a huge shift in the consumer healthcare industry, where the pharma industry is separating out their consumer healthcare arm, right? Because either they are not profit making or it's churning their own investments, etc., which is required behind the research work which is needed in pharma. So that's where I used some of the M&A and divestments, which is what is happening across different industries, particularly in FMCG, in pharma, and in consumer healthcare. Yeah, the whole bit around sustainability, very very popular topic across the board. Yeah, the whole ESG goals, every company, organizations running behind it, and supply chain, R&D, packaging. These are the functions which are so much into the whole concept of sustainability. The whole concept of ecosystem and collaboration, where gone are the days where people used to compete. Here is a time where if you don't have expertise, you join hands with the ecosystem partner or do collaboration with the like-minded experts in certain fields, so that you can kind of contribute back to either the customer or the consumer. The whole concept of gig economy, again a very established one which is directly linked to the future of work, and the big thing around student talent economy, right? All of you are part of this big economy which is going to be available in the employment world anytime soon, right? And the whole thing around digital, like I was talking to ma'am that how is AI shaping up the whole world and all of that stuff. Just a caution of kind of, we need to be careful about, and especially you guys need to be careful about as students, is that use it smartly, because the way ChatGPT has been leveraged and used, we are missing out on our thought process and thinking process, yeah? We are absolutely kind of, deviating from that, pushing our brains and mind, and simply copying and pasting it using ChatGPT. So whether it's digital or AI or anything, use those tools, smartly. Few learnings, as I mentioned, and this is again, obviously accumulation of some of my experiences and personal journey, is to whatever you want in career, and it's not necessarily always money, promotion, etc., but certain roles, certain geography where you want to work with, or kind of exposure you want, do ask, don't shy away from asking, and if you ask, and if you run behind the right stakeholders, I'm sure you will get it one day, yeah? And again, just to reiterate, it's not money, it's not promotion, yeah? It's just a career choices which you would like to, or the experiences which you would like to gain. Build and nurture relationship, absolutely very critical. Frankly speaking, I'm here because I had a relationship and I built a relationship with the institute, the like-minded people, as well as the places where I worked, and I'm sure it's helping me in my day-to-day life as a talent acquisition lead as well. It really helps, yeah. Voice out and, have a very clear thought process around creating visibility, because if you are not visible to the right people, it is going to be difficult, yeah, and that's the fact of the corporate life, yeah. When I say voice out, certain times you have to be the whistleblower as well. Again, don't shy away from doing that. If you are firm, if you are binding to your integrity, and if you are seeing certain things happening in the organization or outside of the organization, do that. It's your onus and your responsibility as a management student or as a management professional to voice out to the right people, yeah. After so many years of experience, and I've seen many leaders juggling between work and life, and again I was sharing my thought process around it's more of well-being and not work-life balance these days, right? But come what may, wherever you go and whichever milestones you achieve, family first always, yeah? So that's your foundation where you can go back, relax, share. So don't ever forget your family in whichever part of your life you grow, and wherever, even if you are distant from your family, please stay connected. Follow your passion. Again, I've been blessed with some of the companies and given opportunity to do my singing, do my little bit of love for music, etc. And to some extent, also share my passion for WWE as well, because then you realize that there are so many like-minded people who are also passionate about similar interest. And understand the other person. Always try to put yourself into other person's shoes, because that's how you understand the human dynamics, that's how you understand the people's psyche, and that's how you will be able to help navigate your life and also help navigate others' life as well, yeah. Just last slide, more of, I shouldn't say piece of advice, but since you guys are right, sort of, stepping into the management world, as a student right now, obviously you'll go through this study for next 1 to 2 years, but you need to start preparing for this kind of scenarios and real life situations in the times to come. The first and foremost is the kind of exposure which you should seek for. Don't run behind designation, don't run behind money, don't run behind fancy job descriptions. Frankly speaking, job descriptions are becoming kind of in existence, right? Because roles and the responsibilities and the opportunities are getting carved out depending on the business requirement and depending on the talent availability as well. So gone are the days where it's prescriptive, yeah? The most critical, again, these were some of the experiences which I have been pushing students, especially the management students, about, that don't look for AC offices kind of, or a corporate kind of world always. This is the reality. If you have to learn, you need to spend time in market. Do sales with the salespeople. Do marketing, work with the brand guys, etc. And if you are on a production or operations kind of a setup or a factory setup, you need to spend time on the plant, because that's where the manufacturing is happening, yeah? So we being in marketing, finance, HR, frankly speaking, we are the liability to the organization. It's the sales or the manufacturing which are actually are the assets, because they are churning business, yeah? So if you have to learn and if you have to grow in life, you need to know what's happening on the ground, whether it's market or whether it's factory setup or a shop floor, yeah? Industry and market knowledge. Again, after so many years of experience and interacting with so many professionals, this is table stake, super duper mandatory. Industry and market knowledge across the industries, typically known industries like FMCG, pharma, which are like very obvious, right? Because you use all of these products as consumer more than a future employee, right? So if you don't know what's happening in and around the industry and the market, you are bound to fail. And that's where I mentioned that industry and market knowledge is almost becoming equivalent to general knowledge. Yeah, so it is a bare minimum requirement when you step into the corporate. If you don't know what's happening around, from a consumer, customer perspective or industry perspective, it is going to be difficult in whichever field and function you get into. Ruthless focus and prioritization, which is the life in corporate. Yeah, we go haywire in doing multiple things, doing multiple multitasking, etc. But the focus on data, focus on being kind of having a presence of mind and focus on certain analysis, etc., is need of an hour for every function. So you need to have a super high focus and what is needed at that point of time for your function and for your role. And last but not least, a very, very hard learning for me. I'm a OCD, super perfectionist. I've failed miserably in many places because of being perfectionist. The need of an hour, and this has been the trend in industry for a while, a concept of MVP, yeah? Again, irrespective of what role, function you represent, you need to churn results. You learn, basically you build, you kind of experiment, you learn, go back to build, experiment, learn, yeah? And that's popularly called as, you know, the minimum viable product in a way, and not necessarily the physical product, but even it could be a process or a concept, yeah? So don't run behind being perfectionist, being perfect all the time. You need to churn results, you need to be agile and fast in whatever role and project you get into. Yeah, so these are some of the kind of, you know, thoughts, points which I wanted to share basis my experience. Just last thing which I would like to highlight and re-emphasize again on building relationship and network is that irrespective, you need not to be in HR as a function or a profession, be it finance, operations, marketing, or any role and function. You need to have a people orientation, yeah, because people are the assets. It's the human to human interaction. Otherwise, everything is robot, and the process and everything can be done by AIs of the world, etc., and the machines. But it's the human to human interaction which will help you grow. I wouldn't say help you grow, it will help you stay alive more than grow, yeah? So if you don't have that inclination towards people right from the bottom of your heart, and every time you put your brain in front of your heart, it is going to be difficult, yeah? So these are some of the thoughts which I just wanted to share with all of you. I hope I have not bored you guys, but these are some of the things which I am passionate about, and sweat is because of the passion, yeah, and not because of the stress, yeah. So let's interact. Happy to take up questions and interact with you guys.
The floor is now open for question and answers.
Are we on time or how is it? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Keep the mic maybe near to you.
Good evening, sir. I am Adarsh Joshi, student manager at BIMM. Sir, my question is, what strategy do you recommend for fostering culture of continuous learning and innovation, particularly in the field of FMCG and tech?
Oh, good question and difficult question as well. Yeah. See, as I told you, the industry is evolving purely considering the consumers first, and especially FMCG, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's meant for consumers, right? The speed at which the innovations are happening in the pockets of different industries and different functions, like say, for example, I'll give you a very unique example in which we use it in our current organization on a regular basis, is that the innovation in the formulation and the product development field is far, far faster than what is happening in processing and packaging, to be very frank, yeah. So the kind of innovations you see in product, you don't see that in the packaging. And don't think from a corporate or a professional function, just think from a consumer perspective, yeah. So these are the hard-hitting realities which most of the FMCG organizations globally and locally are realizing. And if you don't have the agility, and if you don't have the concept of continuous learning, again, irrespective of what function you represent, right from R&D to supply chain to marketing, and how do you flex your muscle and have a proactive approach of lending the right innovations or the change rather than a reactive approach. Because if one of the competitor has done some change and you react to the situation after seeing their products in the market, again, it's going to be difficult in this competitive world, yeah? Because the industries are expanding, again, the channels are expanding. Again, gone are the days where you had a general trade, which is brick and mortar kind of a channel. You evolved from there to modern trade, which is more like a retail, supermarket, etc. From there, we have evolved to e-commerce. And now is the time for D2C, literally, yeah. So if you don't respond to the market requirement and have agility and have a continuous learning approach, and again, I'll go back to my advice, everyone needs to be on ground, everyone needs to spend time in the market, what's happening, and that's the continuous learning which you get right from the market on the shop floor as well as the, in the market. So yeah, that's super important for any company to grow.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I have answered and you will take some insights.
Hello, sir. I am student manager Rebecca Anthony from BITM. Sir, you spoke about being a whistleblower in corrupt situations. Sir, the problem starts after that. So how to either avoid the after effects? Because most of the time, it's not that the people shy away from telling the truth, but then sometimes it's the after effects that gets us scared to tell the truth. Though we really want to tell the truth and make sure that everything runs ideally.
Very valid question, and that to the people of corporates, right? Um, See, most of the organizations have the code of conduct or code of business principles, and I'm sure you guys will also study the concepts of POSH, etc., right? And it's not, just to clarify, it's not about corruption, yeah? It's about everything which
Yes,
could be misleading, either in terms of practice or behavior,
Yes.
yeah? And when I say whistleblower, there are certain functions which needs to act as a neutral function rather than going with the flow of the business and not highlight to the right either authorities or to the stakeholders, yeah? And that's what I meant by not shying away from being vocal, not shying away from even to the extent, and whistleblower is the last extreme situation, yeah? Coming back to your point on the after effects, yeah? So if your organization have a very robust and strong policies governed around it and followed around it, the education to the bottommost level, right from top to, and unfortunately the awareness and the education of such policies is very limited. It is with few people who have crafted and few leadership members. It even doesn't reach, because it is either posted somewhere or given as a handout or given over the email, etc., through digital platform. Nobody really reads, nobody really understands those kind of principles. Even if it's a half pager or a one pager, people tend to forget. So you need to build that kind of a culture, and it takes hell amount of time and energy and I would say perseverance for organization to do that, and it takes a lot of time. But if you set up such policies and procedures well right from the beginning, then there is no question of after effects. Yeah. So again, there are a lot of scenarios where you will have code of business principles and code of conduct related things. Committee is created. They will go through the investigation and everything, but try to go to the root cause rather than going into solving it after everything is done, yeah? Yes. So if you have the robust culture right from imbibed right from the beginning and right from the bottom of the pyramid, there are chances that the kind of practices will not happen, yeah? So that's my take on that.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. I'm Namira Khanam from BIMM Marketing. So my question would be, being a student, we have to start somewhere by building network. So what should be our approach on that?
Very good question. I had a HR intern in 2022 from this institute, and one of the project which we had, and not even project, during the interview, first and foremost criteria, and again I could be I would say over expecting this entire scenario, but this is what typically corporate and HR would look for. How good is your presence on the professional platforms like LinkedIn? Practically speaking, there is no other professional platform other than LinkedIn, yeah? There are a lot of social platforms, but professional platform is the only one, yeah? So as you build your career and you step into it, you need to have active presence and not ChatGPT and AI driven presence. And forwarding messages on social media is okay, but forwarding the same messages and the content, though it could be professional and related to function, don't copy paste on LinkedIn. Yeah, so these are some of the things which you need to have a very strong presence. Through LinkedIn, you can start creating a professional network, and then whenever there are professionals or corporate leaders coming either to the institutes or through various forums or workshops, etc., try to build that network. And more than anything else, stick to your institute itself, yeah, because you have your alumni and your seniors who are already in the market doing their professional journeys. Connect with them. It's as obvious as one can be, yeah, because we even go to our schools, right? And schools have alumni network. Obviously, the management students need to be bound with your alumni network, yeah? So that has to be like again a mandatory one. That really helps, yeah.
Hello, sir. Here. Sir. Here. My
Sure.
name is Himanshu Kulkarni. My question is, as you are saying, you use social media for network and talent hunt, and how you stick to only talent hunt, not in entertainment area?
Oh, very good question. For entertainment, you have WWE, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Again, I'll give you a unique example. So we have, in Packfora, we have a business unit called Talent Flex, where we provide talent on flexibility, which is more to do with capacity or capability. In a layman term, and I could be vocal about it, more of a temp staffing equivalent, but more in the technical space, yeah? Your people are deployed on the client side. Whether they are getting inclusive behavior from the client, from their professional meetings, workshops, or just a get together or a farewell party and all of that, or maybe a Friday evening fun, etc. When you start observing your employee and your client, you see a trend that you realize that your deployed talent in the client side is actually not getting included in many forums. It could be personal, professional, fun, organized by the the office or the corporate. These are some of the things which we observe. We don't obviously just do like checking status, etc. Right? So it doesn't become a mode of entertainment. It's more from building the insights or a trend, what's happening around. I would be again very open and transparent about it because of this kind of, I should say, practice. I personally have saved life of 2 to 3 people. Yeah, it might sound very scary and big, but I have had such kind of experiences where I could save someone's life in middle of the night because I knew that person, I knew where the person was working and why he or she has landed into a particular situation. Yeah, so these are some of the experiences which you gain over the period. And it is not only for recruitment or talent scouting, but it's for many other purposes, yeah. So when you say people first, you look at such kind of things from that angle, yeah, to help
Thank you, sir.
people.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. To your right.
It's becoming difficult for my,
Corner.
thank you.
Sir, I am Vishal Pawar, student manager at BITM. Sir, if I want to start my own company or business, what aspects should I keep in mind towards marketing and sales?
Okay. Not particularly marketing and sales, but again, I try to correlate with what we have also experienced in my current organization. It's to, again, going back to building and nurturing relationships, yeah. And specific to sales and marketing, if you are choosing as a profession, how good you are networked in the fraternity, how good network you are in the market when it comes to, say for example, if you're going ahead with a launch of a FMCG brand or a product or something like that, do you understand the distribution network? Do you understand the carrying and forwarding agent concept? Do you understand the retail market? Have you built that kind of relationship with at least few of them? Obviously you can't go and do the relationship with every shopkeeper, but have you tried doing that? Because if you have to venture into similar kind of business, you need to go to that channel and where actually the product is getting sold, right? So again, I would call it out as not a sales or a marketing strategy, but more of a building and nurturing relationship with people around, yeah.
Sir? Sir, here. Left side, sir, left side.
Yes.
At the back.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Kavita Singh, Junior Student Manager at BIMHRD, specializing in PM and HRD. Sir, my question to you is, what are the skills is looking candidate at the time of placements, particularly in HR field?
Oh, very good question. again, I'll go back to how network you are, because it's going to be again a table stake skill, more like a hygiene, right? It is required for, especially for the HR professional, to be well networked, because eventually you will do the same after 6 months or 1 year of your existence in the corporate life, right? So that is one. Second, you need to have a very strong, I would say, the understanding of people's psyche, and getting to know people well deep within, yeah, and not just a peripheral kind of understanding, yeah, because if you don't understand the aspiration, passion, and the interest, etc., of people, especially again for HR to succeed. And these are some of the things and observations, and how good you are connected, etc., will be the basic fundamental skills. I am deliberately not using standard skills and competences, because which you are anyways going to study and experience. But from a real life situation and from a corporate perspective, these are some of the skills which we always look for. Yeah.
So, my first of all, thank you for your guidance. And my question is that, as you said, like we must have a industry and market knowledge, but being new to the industry, as my specialization is product management, so how can I deal with that things?
Very good. How old are you?
22, sir.
Okay. So for last 22 years, you have been using thousands of products, right? Or if you are not using as a consumer, I'm sure you are observing, right? Not only within households, but across, right? So when I meant general knowledge, is what just going back and reflecting back to your normal life. Because in and around you have thousands of products and thousands of services which already is consumed by you as an individual. Forget about others. Yeah. And that's what I meant by understanding what's happening in the market, and it will give you a broader picture of market as well as broader picture of the industry, how they function, etc. If you go and understand what are the products, what are the brands, who are the competitors, again, not limited to a particular industry, across the industries, yeah, and specifically to a specialization like product management, etc. This is going to be a need of an hour when you will go into the market as a professional. And as we speak, we also hire a lot of product managers who comes from a very, very different background altogether. Yeah, and we have a digital product or a solution. Now, how do you would not have experienced those? Yeah, because those products are not even out in the market. Yeah, but at least a connected or related product or related services or the solutions which you would have experienced in life. Again, not necessarily through your experiences and internships and all of that. These are some of the basic needs and basic expectation by the industry or by the corporate. I have come across a lot of marketing MBA students who doesn't even know that what is Calanova, what is Kellogg's, what is and learn out of it. Yeah. And MBA obviously provides you the opportunity, yeah, because I'm sure you must be doing a lot of presentation, case studies and all of that. So before you step into the corporate world, you need to brush up all of this.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Good evening, sir. I am Weber from BITM Marketing. Sir, you do not have IIM or IIT tag, but you hired them. You are at the helm of some of the biggest acquisitions in FMCG. What is your go-to mantra, sir?
Good question again. So yeah, I had great privilege to report to quite a few such professionals. Had a privilege to work directly with a lot of these professionals. Frankly speaking, you learn a lot, yeah, in terms of strategy, in terms of project management, and how things are run in a more structured way. Frankly speaking, that is what is taught in a more better way in such kind of institutes. Yeah, also from the perspective that the kind of exposure or the brand they carry in the corporate or the industry world is also the exposure what they would have gained, right? And that's where you get exposed to those kind of people and you learn out of it and you end up hiring similar kind of talent. Yeah. So frankly speaking, as HR, my go-to mantra is to leverage and abstract as much as possible from the leaders, learn from it, try and absorb, and then look for the similar kind of experiences from others. Yeah, that's what you keep doing day in and day out.
Hello, sir. Sir, to your right.
Yeah.
Sorry, left. Sorry, sir. Hello, sir. I am Pradnya Jadhav, Junior Student Manager in BIMM Marketing. You said earlier that don't run behind being perfectionist. So my question to you is, what are the things that must be perfect and what are the things that are okay to not be perfect, especially in corporate?
Yeah. I would correlate this with the whole concept around making mistakes, right? So, and how you learn out of it. Making mistakes once, twice, a few multiple times and learning out of it and improvising on it is important rather than making it as a habit. Yeah. And that's what I meant by not being perfectionist, because at the end of the day, every time you reiterate or you do kind of, go back to the basics and the drawings, you understand that it's the same thing or a repetitive thing which you are going back to. Yeah. So the whole concept around the agility and the speed at which from an action perspective, the buzzword is bias for action, which is more responding quickly to the requirement and in terms of decision making, etc., is what I meant by not being perfectionist and kind of, focus on whatever you can churn. If it is bare minimum, which is accepted by your stakeholder, you can kind of go ahead with it. It is to do with things like processes, policies, etc. Yeah. When it comes to product, obviously you can't compromise. When it comes to quality, you can't compromise, right? So yeah, that's how you kind of differentiate between what is accepted norm and what is a mandatory norm, and not being very focused on perfectionist every time. And things like, I'm sure you guys must be doing it day in and day out, making presentations, etc. I made these presentations while traveling. Yeah, so I could gather a lot of my learnings and experiences, but I struggled to pick the right pictures. That's fine. Yeah, because the most important thing is to land the messages rather than showing the pictures. Yeah, so that's what I mean by MVP and not being perfectionist. And if you remember, I mentioned it very clearly that I have learned it hard way. Yeah, so I'm sure it must have created hurdles and in my career as well. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, finally from the balcony, yes. Yes. True. No, absolutely. Yeah, this is, I was waiting for this question. I'm assuming you are also a WWE fan, right? Okay. What do you call the wrestlers? Are they entertainer or what? Yeah, but they are also a talent. What are they demonstrating, right? In a way, it's a talent. Yeah, they have been trained to perform. They've been trained to follow a particular storyline or follow a particular script. It is nothing but a talent management. Yeah, or you can say training in the ring is almost similar to what you train a person in the corporate world as well. I can try to join this kind of anecdotes And I'm sure you must be following most of the storyline. Every strategy has been changed over the period of each wrestler, and then there are concept of key talent. I'm sure you guys will learn high potential talent, hippo, and all of that we call it, right? In WWE, it's happening the same, right? You have big stars which are popular, are actually the key talent of WWE. Yeah, so how are they groomed? How are they showcased? How organization is creating visibility, or how the talent is showing the visibility to the wider audience and the world around is nothing but talent management. Yeah, so that's how I sort of correlate what happens there and what happens in the corporate world. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, the other thing on a lighter note, again, being in HR, I love seeing others fight. So that's a separate thing. Okay.
Hello, sir. I am Siddhant Wagmare from Human Resource Department. Sir, what do you mean by ruthless focus? Like, how do you prioritize your work and ignore distractions?
Again, very good real life challenge, which typically all the corporate folks, and I mean not only corporate but everyone. I'm sure you guys as a student, faculty, professors, all of them must be facing this forever, right? What happens in the process is that you have so many things to achieve, yeah, and you have so many things, so many tasks at hand. If you don't have a concept of checklist manifesto, these are some of the concepts which are popular in certain industries, because not every industry or every role requires that kind of a stringent processes, etc. But just to give you a few examples, the whole airline industry, the way it operates, and on the other side, the whole hospital or the medical industry, it operates. In an ICU kind of a setup, there is a checklist of more than 175, 180 activities to be performed, not by the doctor, but by the nurse or the support staff. Day in and day out, maybe 4 times a day. Yeah, and that's where typically in most of the cases, people don't, die just because someone has kind of made a mistake and have not followed the checklist, etc. Right? It's the natural cause, etc. So that's what in most of the roles and most of the industries in such kind of scenarios, if you don't follow, it could lead to someone's life. Now in a corporate world, it's not like that, right? It's comparatively easy. If you don't have a ruthless focus, there are so many distractions. The distractions around our colleagues, what's happening in the outside world, and unfortunately all the social medium and the media, etc., which exists, right? So that's where how do you bring back? And I would share one more experience, the experience of working from home kind of a scenario, right? For last almost 2.5, 3 years, extreme amount of distraction, yeah. But how do you capitalize? How do you focus back on your work and have a very clear-cut checklist manifesto to be followed in your role or in a particular function, so that you prioritize what is needed. It is not always what is needed by you. Most of the time it is always needed by either your bosses or your management or sometimes even the organization, right? So that's what I meant by key focus and prioritization. By the way, I forgot to mention that I report to a CEO. Now you can imagine how ruthless he must be. So that's what happens in the real grind. Because it's 9 hours, 9.5 hours of work every day, 5 days a week, sometimes logging on the weekends, etc. How do you bring back focus? How do you bring back the prioritization? Because everything is not here and now. Yeah. So again, the concept of urgency or urgent versus important,
Okay, so this was the last question.
Sure.
Now, I would like to call upon stage Junior Student Managers Yash and Pooja to present the token of gratitude to Vasavada sir.
Sorry, before we conclude, just one last thing. And I think I was again in morning, I was sharing during the conversation that it is this kind of opportunities where as a professional, as a personal, at individual level also, you reflect back on your journey, right? And it gives you goosebumps, it gives you a sort of a situation where you feel that I'm going to share my life stories, I'm going to share my experiences, etc. But frankly speaking, while doing all of that, it gives you a lot of confidence, yeah, that whatever 17 years of corporate life, or maybe close to almost now 40 years of life in general, has been very, very fruitful. And the kind of gratitude you would like to kind of give not only to God Almighty, but also to the people who have supported in this journey, is for me the biggest thing. Yeah. So that is what I am so much thankful to the Institute, that it helped me bring out the best in me, and also more than bring out the best, it's more about going back to the life journey and giving gratitude back to whosoever have touched and would have guided me, mentors, teachers, professionals, etc., and bosses as well, yeah, and team members. So I'm really thankful to the Institute for giving me this opportunity, purely also from this perspective that it helped me, respect those memories and respect those people. So hats off to all of you.
Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. For that purpose, I now call upon stage Junior Student Manager Daisy Goyal to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On this remarkable occasion, I, Daisy Goyal from Shopur, Madhya Pradesh, a junior student manager at BIM HRD, rise to deliver a heartfelt vote of thanks to our esteemed corporate leader, Vasavada sir, whose presence has graced us with profound insights and inspiration. Today, we have had the privilege of learning from the very best in the business, and we are truly grateful for the wisdom he has shared with us. With his purpose statement, stand strong and be resourceful, as it reflects on the words of our corporate leader. Now, I would like to encapsulate 3 important learnings from the insightful session. Life goes full circle. Networking with peers is very important. It will always be helpful in your journey. Ruthless focus and prioritization is the need of hour for all professionals. Don't shy away from hard working. You will land great opportunities in life. Thank you for exemplifying ethical leadership and inspiring us to uphold the highest standard of integrity. Your expertise in the field of human resource and way you articulated your journey has truly inspired us all. We are grateful to have valuable knowledge and perspective you have shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your patient listening.